Well, hello. Look at me. Do I look really old? I feel like I might look really old because of the hair and the fact that I'm wearing like a florally dress.
Just to quickly interrupt, I was editing this back and I realised I don't think I actually said I am not an expert in houses and stuff. This is just things that I picked up along the way. You might want to double check things that I have said just to make sure they are 100% true, because obviously houses and contracts and everything like that changes all the time, so what I know was true at the time might not be different, like the same now, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that is just a little disclaimer out there for you.
Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. So today's video is a bit different to the content that I've uploaded before. It's actually going to be a first time buyers tips and advice video. So for those of you who don't know, me and George, my partner, we put a deposit down for a house last May in 2019, and we moved in around Christmas time, but we didn't actually move in officially till January. We just got the keys in December. We've now lived here for about, what month are we in? August? Is that 8 months? Yeah. So we've now lived here for 8 months, and there is so much stuff that we didn't know when we first got the house or when we first deposit down. There's so much that they don't teach. This is stuff that they should really teach you in school. If you think it's as simple as you find the one you want, you put a deposit down on it, you sign some paperwork, and then you get the keys in a month's time, you are mistaken. First of all, the amount of paperwork is ridiculous. Hold on, we've still got all the paperwork, and I'm just gonna show you how much reading, signing, and double checking there is. This is just one lot of, this was the report and title of contract from our solicitors, and as you can see, there's a lot. Basically, wrote sticky notes on things that we didn't understand, like, you can kind of see the sticky notes here. So that was one bit, and then in here, this is all of like contracts and legal fees and agreements and all important documents that you have no idea you need, all that are a thing. Like, honestly, the amount of paperwork involved is ridiculous, but I will get onto that within this video, I promise. So I've decided that I'm gonna make this a little bit of a series, because this video, I'm gonna tell you some stuff, but there's so much information that is involved that I feel like is really important that you need to know. But if I was to involve it in one video, I feel like it would just be over an hour long, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think you guys want to sit here for an hour and listen to me talk, and I don't think I want to sit and edit my voice for over an hour, because I feel like that will drive me a bit crazy. This is going to be part 1. If there's things that you think I've missed out, don't worry, I will add some bits in part 2. I will also include a really helpful link to certain things in the description box below that really helped us when we were looking at buying our house, and also some stuff that I've researched for this video. So I've lost the page. The first thing that I think is quite an obvious thing that you need to do is save up as much as you can for a deposit. Now, obviously that sounds really, you know, the obvious thing. The more you save, the better it is, but people are like, why? Like, do you know why you have to save such a big deposit? It basically means that the more you save for your deposit, so the bigger the deposit means a better interest rate, which in turn means lower monthly payments and then a lower mortgage, which is the better thing. So if the more you can pay up front, the less it's going to be for you in the long run. You can also split your deposits now, which I think people don't realise. So we paid 5% there and then 5% upon completion. You can pay a bigger deposit than that, but it's like at least, I'm pretty sure, like at least 10% deposit. It's really important to open an ISA account. Now, the Help to Buy ISA, which is what we had, isn't accepting new people anymore. They've kind of stopped it, but if you have a Help to Buy ISA now, obviously don't close it until you are ready to put a deposit down on a house and you've saved as much as you can into that account as possible. It only actually counts, like your Help to Buy ISA will only work if you have over £1,000 in there. I don't know if they tell you that, I'm not sure, but it basically is a way to save money. You can put up to £200 a month in there. Basically, when you are ready to put your deposit down and you're ready to close your ISA, then the government will, I think, how much do they pay? Give me a second, I should have done this before, shouldn't I really? In England and Wales, the government lends up to 40% of the value of the property in Greater London, or up to 20% of the value of the property outside of Greater London. In Scotland, the government lends up to 15% of the value of the property. It's just basically helping you get a bigger deposit, pretty much. They kind of just give you, money, but obviously you have to pay it back, but it's just a way to help people get on the property ladder. And also there's a thing called a lifetime ISA, which is still available now. My friend literally just opened up one the other day, and you have to be between the age of 18 and 40 to open one. So if you are between that age range and you haven't got a Help to Buy ISA and you want to move out and you want to buy your own house, so open up a lifetime ISA, please. It was so good and it will help you so much. You can basically put maximum £4,000 within the tax year, so April to April you can put up to £4,000 in there. This is the official government definition of what a lifetime ISA is. So you can use a lifetime ISA to buy your first home or save for later life. The government will add a 25% bonus to your savings up to the maximum of £1,000 per year. The lifetime ISA limit, £4,000 cost counts towards your annual ISA limit. They basically will add 25% of what you have in your ISA account. Very good, recommend opening that. If you are moving in with someone and you both have ISA accounts, you can use both of them combined, which is actually a lot better, obviously, because the more money you have in both your ISAs, the more money the government will give you, the more it helps you to get a house, the more money you have to put down. It's a lot harder to get a house alone because you have to save more. So if you are in a relationship and you are looking at a house together to buy, both of you make sure that you open up my little pen. Make sure you open up ISAs, it's so important. So we actually do the shared ownership scheme, which basically means that the house isn't completely ours, we own 50% of it, and then the housing estate people, who actually owns the other half? I don't know who owns the other half. We own 50% of the house, so we are paying rent and a mortgage at the same time, and then when we remortgage the house in another 2 years, we can up how much we own of the house, and then our mortgage will increase and then the rent will decrease. So at the moment it's like, hold on, so this is rent and this is mortgage. The more of the house you own, the more your mortgage will go up and the more your rent will go down, which basically means that over time you are building up how much of the percentage you own of the house to eventually own the whole 100%. So it's really good if you have enough money for a deposit, but you don't have enough money to buy the whole entire house outright. You can do it, so you are doing half rent, half buy, which over time the house will become yours, and it technically is, well, it's yours now anyway, it's half yours. But it's just a good way to get on the property ladder. I recommend doing that personally. So if you are still at home and you're desperate to get out of your house and you want to move out straight away, just wait a couple of months, couple of years time. It will be so much more worth it if you can afford to buy your own house than renting. Personally, that's how I looked at it anyway. We were so lucky to be able to have enough money to do this. It's also really important that you have a good credit score. Now, this is something that the mortgage lenders will look into. A credit score is basically showing them that you are good at paying back money that you've borrowed. So if you take out a loan for something and you're always behind on your monthly payments, then that gives you a really bad credit score. It shows the mortgage providers that you're not really trustworthy of paying back your mortgage on time. So if you are going to take out a loan for any reason whatsoever, make sure that you are paying back your money when it's due, not any later, because it's really important to build up a good credit score. A good way to start building up your credit score is to to get a credit card and just pay on it monthly, and then over time your credit score will build up and up and up, and then it will show that you're it shows that you're basically reliable paying back money, because they're lending you a lot of money and they want to know that you're gonna pay it back. Because if you can't pay back your mortgage and your monthly payments, they have the power to repossess your house, which you don't want to happen. You don't want them to take your house away from you after saving and all this stressful paperwork. So build up your credit score, show them that you are going to pay back your monthly mortgage repayments, and you're Gucci. And also stay out of your overdraft, because you have to provide, I think it's 3 months. Yeah, so you need to provide 3 months worth of bank statements when you put your deposit down. If you are living in your overdraft, again, that proves that you're not very good with money, and it puts a negative mark on you, and your mortgage provider will be like, they're not very good with money management, so we shouldn't trust them with a huge amount of money, which is fair enough. So if you do have an overdraft, try to not go in it that much. Try to stay out of it. I am one of those people that was really bad for this at uni, because uni was expensive to live as a student, and if you are in your overdraft, try and get out of it as soon as you can. Once you've put your deposit down for your house, try and find a mortgage broker or a mortgage advisor, like the same thing. They will try and basically find you the cheapest mortgage deal. We had a mortgage advice person. Let me start again. So we live on a new build property by houses made by Linden Homes, and they basically advised this mortgage advisor. You can obviously find your own ones as well, but they recommended a mortgage advisor for us, and we just went with them because they were good and they were honest, so we stayed with that mortgage advisor. But you can look around, there are other ones out there, and they basically just find you the cheapest mortgage deal for you based on your circumstances. They ask for your monthly income, your job, the bank statements and everything, and then they will kind of calculate what kind of mortgage you can get. They will calculate how much you can borrow, how much, basically they figure out all the math stuff for you, because I'm really bad at maths. And so, well, George is quite good at math, but I'm really bad at math. So they kind of figure out all that kind of stuff, that confusing mortgage money stuff for you. So find a good mortgage advisor and look around as well. Like, don't just stick to one like what we did, but look around for a mortgage advisor. You also need to make sure that you keep 3 months worth of paychecks. And if you're self-employed, I think it's 2 to 3 years. You want to double check that because I'm not self-employed. For me, I had to provide 3 months worth of paychecks. Now this was a massive issue because I had started a job quite recently when they needed 3 months worth, and I only had 2 months worth. And my 3rd month paycheck wasn't coming until like 2 weeks after they needed this. So I went to the money person and I was like, I need my like paycheck early. I don't want to get paid early. I just need the paycheck to show them. And they were like, you can't do that. I was just like, we can provide them a statement saying that you're working here. And I was like, that's not what I need. But luckily we spoke to the people and we told them that there would be a delay because they weren't giving it to me. And luckily it wasn't a massive issue. I was panicking that we were going to lose the house based on that, and that would have been so annoying. So keep your paychecks. If you get them physically, keep them. I don't know if they do them anymore physically. I think it's all online. So if you keep them online, just screenshot them and just make sure you keep everything. Update your passport, make sure your passport's up to date, your driving license, anything like that. Make sure they're all up to date, in date as well, and they have like the correct address that you are living in at the time that you send all your applications off. Make sure that they're all like basically correct, because if anything's incorrect it could be seen as fraud and you don't want that hassle of going through all of that. So make sure that your payslips have your correct name on them, date of birth, your correct bank details. Any spelling mistakes made could also result in fraud claim or whatever, so just make sure everything's double checked basically. Just go over everything with the finest tooth comb. Tooth comb, is that the saying? You don't want anything messing up, let me tell you. Also, make sure that you get a good solicitor. Our solicitor was good, but they took ages to reply sometimes to emails. Solicitors sort out all the legal stuff for you. They are basically the middleman between you and your like estate agent, letting agent, homeowner person at the time. They are the middleman, so they will basically talk to you through them. They're basically the person that gives messages. They're basically like the messenger, pretty much, that sort out all the legal fees, all the like legal bits and paperwork. You'll get all your paperwork through your solicitor. It won't be through your estate agent. The estate agent will basically send the paperwork to your solicitor to go over, and then once it's checked through your solicitor, then they send it to you, and then you will then fill it out, read over it, send it to your solicitor, and then the solicitor will then send it back to the estate agent. It's very confusing, but it's basically so that they can go over everything, make sure it's all okay. If there's stuff missing, they will send it back to your estate agent. If there's things that they don't agree with, they will then tell you that they don't agree with them and then send it back. There's a lot of like toing and throwing that side, and that can take quite a while because you got to think you're not the only, they call it cases. You're not the only case that they're dealing with. They are dealing with so many at the same time. So yeah, it could take a while to get paperwork. Like one time we literally were waiting like a month and a half for some paperwork that should have been sent like 2 weeks after we sent it off. So be patient. These things don't happen really quickly, but make sure you get a good solicitor, because the better the solicitor, the more like safe and secure you're gonna feel, the more you can trust them, the more that you trust they're not gonna, you know, screw you over or anything. Also with the credit score, you can like check your credit score before you apply for a house, which you should probably do anyway, because you know you don't want to apply for a mortgage, put a deposit on a house, and then when they check your credit score it'd be really bad. You can check it on certain websites. We checked ours on Expedia, I think that's what it's called. I will link below some places that you can check your credit score at, but just check your credit score before. It's completely free on some websites. Some people ask you to pay, some people's are free. We got ours for free. I don't know how, but we got ours free somehow. And it'll just basically tell you your credit score, which you should do before you apply for anything, before you even look at a house to check your credit score, because you'd rather do it yourself than get the mortgage person to do it, trust me. If you found the house you want, make sure that you visit it in the daylight and at night time, because houses look completely, obviously it's not going to matter, but you just want to make sure that the area is nice that you're going to, like you want to see what it's like at night time. I've just always been told to look at a property in the daylight and at night time, just so you can see the differences, and also visit it as many times as you want. If you can, just message your estate agent and be like, oh, I just want to pop round to just have a look at the house. They'll like schedule you in, take as many photos as you want, because you get caught up when you're walking around and you forget things. You forget what certain rooms look like, you forget what certain issues you have seen and spotted because you're just so excited. So take as many photos walking around as you want, because it's your house. Like, don't feel like you're annoying them or pestering them. You know, they're getting money from you, like a lot of money as well. So take your time, take as many photos you want, and go see the house as many times as you want. We basically live in a new build, so we couldn't really go into the house because they were building it. We had to like arrange appointments, and we went around it when it was a shell of a house, and that was really fun to see. Like, there was no plastering on the house, it was just like concrete floors, concrete everywhere. There was like no pipe, I think there was piping work being done, but like there was no walls, there were no doors, there was no toilet. It just was very empty, but it was really cool looking around. So obviously we couldn't go and visit as many times as we wanted because they were physically building it, but if you can, I highly recommend doing it because it was so much fun every time we got to look around. Right, somebody asked me, what are the hidden costs when buying a house? And there are so many things you don't realise that you have to pay for. So I'm just going to read some of these out. So the legal fees and deeds that will have to be done they will be done through your solicitor slash conveyancer. I don't know how to say what they are, but all the legal fees and stuff will be sorted out through your solicitor. That's why it's so important to get a good one, and they will just bill you at the end. So legal fees can pile up. The land registry fee shows that you are the legal owner of the property, and it's just to update the government records. Again, this was done through our solicitor. They like done the land registry fee for us, and we just had to pay that at the end. Stamp duty, you don't have to pay if you're a first time buyer. Right, well, stamp duty fee, I know that you don't have to pay if you're a first time buyer. If it's under a certain amount, I will put the amount here, I can't remember what it was. But if you're a second time buyer, then you do have to pay it, and it's basically just putting tax on your house. That's what it is. The stamp duty fee is just tax, which is annoying because they tax us for everything in life as it is anyway. But yeah, so stamp duty and valuation fee as well. There's so many different fees. Building insurance, your council tax. It's something that you pay for after you move in. Council tax is expensive, and it takes a while to kind of ban your houses because they're basically put into different bands. So if your house is quite expensive, it'll be put in the high band, and then the lower band, like low houses and stuff. You can like find out the bands of houses around the house that you're buying. So if it's a new build like ours wasn't banded because they needed to get it approved, and loads of complicated stuff that she was telling me with my own understand. But it took a while for them to band our house. But other houses around us were banded, so I could kind of like gauge how much ours would be each month. But if you are moving into a house that is already built and people have already lived there, then you can find out the current council tax band bracket, just so you are a bit of not in shock when you realise you have to pay council tax because it is a lot of money. So yeah, that is kind of the first part of the video. I mentioned some bits and tips in here, but it took a while to move in, so don't expect to move in really quickly. I don't know if it's the same for houses that, like I said, have been built and lived in before, because ours was physically being built, so it took us a while to move in, from May to December. I don't know if that's like an average time to move into a house. It did take quite a while, to be honest with you, but like I said, that is because it wasn't built, it was literally bricks. So I don't know what the average time is to move into a house that has already been lived in, so you might want to check that out. So yeah, I will do some more videos on this because I feel like it's such an important thing for people to know, and they don't really talk about it anyway in school, which they really should. It's so complicated, there's so much paperwork. So my main point to take away from this video is to get a really good mortgage advisor to look around for the cheapest deals for you, like mortgage deals. Get a good solicitor as well. And also, oh my god, I didn't mention fee. Your solicitor will bill you for everything. Don't forget that. Every email is charged, every paperwork that they send you, you saw how much paperwork there was. They charge you for like printing, they charge you for phone calls, like per minute. And I didn't realise this, and there were so many things I emailed with my sister not understanding, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna get billed for this at the end. Luckily it wasn't like a mad amount, like I thought it was gonna be thousands, and it can be thousands. Like some solicitors charge ridiculous amount of money. Ours luckily wasn't, it was quite expensive, but it wasn't like a ridiculous amount, and you'll get billed that as well at the end. So once everything is sorted and you get the contracts, then you will get billed by your solicitor. So once your solicitor is kind of like done and dusted with all the legal side of things, they will then bill you their solicitor fees. So bear that in mind, keep some money aside. So once you have saved enough money for your deposits, make sure you have extra savings for all the fees that are included that they don't tell you about. So like I said, like the mortgage advisor fees, the solicitor fees, all the surveillance, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you have a bit of money saved over. I would recommend saving at least another £1.5 to £2 if you can, for everything, just in case your solicitor fees are ridiculously high. You don't want to not be able to afford your solicitor fees, because I don't actually know what will happen if you can't afford it. If you want to ask me any questions, please leave me a comment below or message me on Instagram. I did ask people to send in questions, which some people did, which I hope I answered in this video. If I haven't, I'm sorry. There will definitely be a part 2. and part 3 I might just do like a separate video on like ISAs, a separate video on the Help to Buy scheme, a separate video on like mortgages and like rent. I might just do like separate videos, but this was just an introduction on some certain tips and things that you should know and need to know. And yeah, I might just do like a mini series on this channel, breaking it down, making it easy for you, because I like things very black and white. I don't like complicated text. I don't like people giving me like a long essay when it could just be described in like a single sentence. So I'm gonna try and make these videos as easy to understand as possible, and as simple to understand as well, because it is confusing. Don't get me wrong, a mortgage and a house and all that kind of stuff is so hard to understand. There were many times me and George were sat in bed reading all our paperwork. We were like, what are we doing? We have no idea what we're doing at all, and it was just so stressful. Luckily, I have people in my life that could help and could understand things. Also, oh my god, make sure your guarantor also has a good credit score as well, because they need to sign saying that they are your guarantor. And I think that means basically if you miss a payment, then they are obliged to pay. I might have to put the definition of that on screen somewhere, but make sure you get a good guarantor because they will also sign it as well. So yeah, that was it for today's video. Really hope you enjoyed it. Really hope it was helpful and useful in any way, shape or form. If you're looking at buying a house, that's really exciting. I am very excited for you and happy for you. Do let me know if there are things that you want me to talk about in this series at all, like anything specifically or anything you think I've missed out. I'll try my best to do that, but yeah, I've been talking for way too long now. My mouth is so dry, oh my god. But yeah, I will see you guys soon for a brand new video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and follow all my socials down below, and I will see you guys soon for a brand new video. Bye!